Hello everyone. So I hope everyone is having a good Friday so far, and everyone is just getting ready for the weekend. If you're working on the weekend, don't worry, you can still have a great weekend. For those who are not working this weekend, I hope you guys are really going to enjoy. So I just really wanted to talk to you really quickly about a subject that it's a word that's been going around this week, and it is value. I recently did a co-facilitated with Jobbing with Jazz, a group of women at Sister Siesta, about knowing your value and the importance of your value and what is your value and appreciating your value. And I've just had it come up a few times, even just talking with some clients and with friends this week about value. And so it really inspired me, just talking to a friend earlier this morning, about understanding the difference between self-worth and value, because sometimes people might use your value and your worth interchangeably, but I just want to let you know it's not the same. So we have, so I'll just go on and just talk about the differences first. So you have value, and so value is basically, it could be your own value, like kindness. I believe that's a value. I believe that being generous, that's a value. And because I have those things, that also makes me valuable, right? And then there is worth, and that's how much are you willing to pay? How much are you willing to put up with? Even though you know something is valuable, are you going to pay what it's worth? Even though you know your valuable, are you going to treat yourself like that value that you are? That would be your worth. What are you willing to pay? What are the standards you're willing to set in regards to worth? So, for example, if you have sometimes you have like, people will give you a gift, a valuable gift, and sometimes people will be like, oh, I don't deserve that, I'm not worthy, and that is saying this gift is valuable, but I don't think I'm worthy enough to receive that gift, even though it's valuable. And so that is just making the distinction between value and worth. And sometimes we have a sense of what our value is, but we don't really appreciate it, or maybe we discount even our value, and that's because we don't know the worth of our value. We don't know who we are. And so what happens is when we start discounting our sense of worth, or we start discounting our value, what happens or we don't recognize that these values are worth something, that they are important, we start discounting them. We start removing boundaries, or maybe not necessarily removing them, but we might start adjusting our boundaries because we don't think we're worthy of it, or we don't think anyone will pay or treat us, shall I say, like what we are worth. And that just goes back to identity, knowing who you are, being comfortable, and knowing your actual value, knowing that you're worth something. And so when we start discounting it, when we start even when something like someone's giving you a compliment, and you are like, they say give you a compliment, and you tend to give a compliment right back, instead of just saying thank you, and just being able to take that in and appreciate what someone's given to you. And so when we're doing that, we're just going along and not really taking time to stop and think. Knowing I'm worthy means I'm going to incorporate self-care. Knowing I'm worthy means that I'm going to say no to some things in order for me to say yes. Knowing I'm worthy is going to be no, because this is going to take away my time, and I really want to do this. So that would just be the difference. And what happens is once you start doing that, once you understand your worth, once you know that these things are valuable and that's who I am, therefore this makes me really worthy, then you start exuding that, and then people start respecting you based on how you see your worth. And also in that, people take away from that, people appreciate that, and then people see that in you, and they also want to do the same. So I just want to encourage you just to start looking at your own value. Okay, this is who I am, this is what I have, this is what I have to offer. Now, looking at that, do I think that's value? What do I think that's worth? Am I willing to change any of this for somebody, or for a thing, or for success, or the case may be, because often sometimes we'll compromise our values just because we want a certain status. Is that really worth it? Is that worth it at the end of the day, in the sense of maybe I want a certain status, but in me having this status and me compromising on my values, I'm losing my sense of my own worth, and maybe I don't even have a sense of peace. So I just want you guys just to think about it. Knowing what your own self-worth is, knowing what your own and your sense of value is very important. It's very key. I always talk about that, especially in therapy, about identity is the foundation. Identity is who you are, knowing who you are, believing who you are, and knowing that who you are is worth something. And once you know that, people really just have a hard time breaking that. People actually don't even like it sometimes. When you are so firm in your sense of worth and in your values and your standards, and you don't move from that, some people have a hard time because maybe they're moving. And so I just want to encourage you in that. Just take a time. Just maybe you might even just take something. For example, you might just write down, okay, who am I? What is my value? Sometimes it's easier to write in third person. So you might write something like, my name is, or say something like, I don't know, James' value is so-and-so, or is what I like about you is, what I think is value about you is, and then just keep writing. Sometimes it's easier when we step back and we are objective. So I just want to encourage you, just knowing the difference between self-worth and value. If you didn't know, don't beat yourself up about it. This is something new, and maybe if you did know, this is a refresher, and if you already do know, this is just a reminder. So have a great weekend, and just remember, when you're going about this weekend, just think about your worth. Do I want to do these activities? Do I want to hang out with these people? Do I want to do this? Or do I just want to relax this weekend? And once you're taking time to sit and think, that's just showing how much you are beginning to realize your worth. So thank you so much, and wherever you are, have a great evening, morning, or afternoon, and I will see you soon.